Hi everyone, Thomas Ragsdale here, aka Ffion, and this is just a quick walkthrough production tutorial type video for how I put together the track Glisk, which is out on the Cecile EP from Woodford House Records. Okay, so this is the main arrangement window for the track. It's quite simple in that there's only 10 parts in this whole tune. It looks a bit of a crazy one because there's so much stuff, so many big lines here. But this is generally how I arrange my tracks, in that I kind of have long parts that I kind of filter in and out using effects and things, as opposed to having like blocky kind of arrangements. It's all kind of one big thing. So yeah, these are the elements that are in the track. So first element that I wanted to just have a look at is the kick drum, which is just this really simple, it's like an 808 kick with some effects on there. That's without the effects. So it's kind of a standard kick, and then I put some reverb on. Kind of makes a chamber sort of sound. That's the Sound Toys little plate reverb. And then to make the bass tone, because there's no bass line in this track, the kick is the bass line, I put this Echo Boy kind of custom preset that I made, and it gives it this like really resonant tone that I loved, so I thought I'd leave that on there. Really weird stuff. I kind of played around with these a little bit, and it kind of has that bouncy doing kind of sound to it. And then I overlaid it with another kick, which is here, which has also, I think it's the same kick, loads of top end on this one, and this other weird effecty kind of thing on there. It's doing that. It's kind of spiraling out of control a bit. So we've got those two on there, and it just kind of gives the track a nice anchor. I made sure that the kick was in tune with the melody as well. But yeah, that's something nice that I was kind of going through. I made this track in about 3 hours during one night, and it just kind of came together just from a big jam session that I did. Okay, so next element is these like snare drums that I've got coming in. This is like some audio processing that I did, and it's some 808 snares played back through my Space Echo and some guitar pedals, and then I put some effects on, and that kind of sounds like this. So dry, it's kind of dull. Well, it's okay actually, I guess, but it's saturated with tape, and it's got some All Blood, Noise, Endeavours reverb on there from a guitar pedal, and then I put tremolo on there to make it shake a little bit. Echo Boy, which is like my go-to delay, and I put two instances of that on there. Preset called Tapering, which I really like, and that kind of bounces nicely with the kick. It's just kind of a techno kind of rhythm going on, and then under that I've got this maraca sound, which is really interesting. And this sound is also being processed and stretched out with pedals. This is a really ugly kind of weird sound, twisted sound. It's the 808 maraca sound that I stretched out, played back in and out of the tape machine, creating this really kind of hideous sound I've got going on here. And that sits nicely with the percussion, I think. I'm just trying to like build a nice groove with this one. Groove's not something that I kind of do a lot of, but yeah, I thought I'd have a crack on this one. I've got another snare channel here, which is a really interesting channel actually. So I made this snare drum just with MIDI, just dropping these MIDI notes in there. It's just like an 808 snare with a ton of effects on there. I'll turn the effects off. So that's dry. kind of unremarkable. Then I cut the low end out here, and I put this echo boy on there. So it's kind of making it stutter a little bit. A panning effect, so it ranges from left to right, like that. And then I put this space echo on from Arturia, which is an awesome plugin. 100% wet, sorry. And then it changes completely. It sounds like a dripping tap, I think. And then add some Replica XT reverb on the end. For like some weird atmosphere. So without this space echo, but then with, I love that kind of sound. It's like just otherworldly, I think. Yeah, put the drive right up as well. And it's just a preset that I've modified basically. 100% reverb volume, 100% wet. Kind of ugly. And it's kind of bouncing in there. Okay, next percussion is just the cabassa that I've put in there. And this only comes in after the drop. And it's just a really simple Edition 808 cabassa sound in an Ableton sampler with some effects on there. This is the dry sound. So kind of like dull sound, I suppose, but I've added a decapitator plugin to give it some like transient, like some overdrive kind of bite to it. Again, I put the Arturia Space Echo plugin, which I really love. Echo Boy, a tremolator, and this Replica XT again. I kind of use the same effects on every channel because I kind of like to have everything in the same universe and the same atmosphere. So I'll just copy and paste. Like say if I made the snare, I'll copy and paste this into this, and then I'll put it on here as well. So everything's got the same kind of sound. It's kind of like doing send effects, I suppose, or like send return auxiliary effects, but it kind of works for me just to copy and paste it. Although my CPU is definitely being punished a bit on this track. So everything together here. Kind of got a nice kind of bouncy rhythm going on. And when the track kicks back in here after the drop, this cabassa, like, it's quite a nice addition, I think. I'll just I'll play everything together and you can kind of hear when it comes in. So this is kind of like the breakdown part of the track. Everything's kind of spiraling and then it's kind of anchors it. It's kind of quiet, but it's definitely in there. You can kind of hear it coming out a little bit. But yeah, I wanted to kind of keep the rhythm kind of just steady, nothing too complex, because I've often found as well that when I'm making tracks, I normally have to decide, is it going to have an interesting rhythm or is it going to have an interesting melody? I kind of struggle to do the two at once. So I thought this track have a kind of a straight, regular rhythm, and then we can kind of like go a bit crazy on the melody parts, which are down here. Okay, so moving on to the main melody, which is this thing, the main arp, and it's a reactor instrument that I've got with a bunch of effects all borrowed from the percussion and just copied and pasted it into the channel. I'm going to turn all those off actually. Yeah, and I've got an Ableton Arpeggiator MIDI instrument on there in F minor, and that's the arp. this reactor instrument is completely free to download, and one that I use on pretty much every single track that I've made in the past 3 or 4 years. It's just ugly, weird, but I kind of like it. And I just bring the filter up here. Maybe I'll fast forward to here. So it's a really dull sound, kind of Arp Odyssey clone, but with the effects. It's spiraling and it's kind of weird. These are just the same presets that I've been using for the whole track. So everything's in the same atmosphere, the same universe constantly. And then just put some Ableton delay on the end of it just to stereolize or something like that, the channel at the end. And then I just play with this filter just throughout the whole thing. This is just one giant jammed automated like take, I suppose. I don't play like little bits. I just write the whole thing in MIDI note just there, and then let the instrument do the work, I suppose. So I'll take the effects off again. So that's how dull it sounds without the effects. I'll just put them on one at a time, maybe see how that sounds. So group on. Decapitator, that crushes it nicely. That's going pretty wild for me. Pan, go back to here. Right, there you go. So got some panning on, some delay again. Weird off kilter stuff. Echo bite, you can hear it now. Tremolator. There's a reverb. A little more. Fanning the delay. The next melody sound is this thing. It's the Buchla plugin from Arpeggiator, which makes a really weird, like crazy noise. Love it though. That's making this noise. With a bunch of effects on here. Which actually I'm going to take off in a second, but yeah. It's this preset that I've modified called Catty. And this sound kind of intimately comes in and out of the track, ebbs and flows with this filter that I've automated, Ableton filter, which is lovely, but without the effects. And it's just playing the same MIDI parts as the Arp, both exactly the same parts, and that's just lovely, I think. It sounds gorgeous. And again, it's the same effects again as the other melody. Just copied and pasted. I've put some EQ in there to take the bass kind of low end out. And I use this again in this down here actually, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, I love this plugin. It's so good. I mean, it probably doesn't sound as good as the hardware, but it's thousands cheaper. So I can use it quite a lot these days. And I'll play that again without the effects. And I've got some automation on this timbre control as well. And yeah, again the Arpeggiator from Ableton. So that's that. Okay, moving on. I've got this really quiet but weird soundscape, which is just a set of rain sounds that I've got sidechained to the kick drum. Really weird stuff. And that dripping sound is from this Arpeggiator Space Echo plugin. I think it adds a really weird atmosphere. And I've also got on there this DAW LP plugin, which is like a vinyl simulator, which you can hear like scratches and crackles and things. You can reduce the quality quite a bit, which I've done here. It goes like up there, but I like to bring it right down. You can turn up your scratches. vinyl noise. It's a really cool plugin, this. Definitely recommend it. Hum noises, they're really cool. So that's kind of in there bubbling away under everything, giving it this like weird atmosphere. And then to kind of go with that, I've got this echo sound here, which is basically the buchla. I played it back out into my pedals and recorded it back in again. Looped a little bit like this. And then put through these again through the same effects and sidechained it to make this weird noise that goes with the rain. Just a kind of a soundscape thing that I've got going on here. But yeah, this was just the buchla sound. Just played out, looped, put back in. I really like to do a bit of a process with affecting stuff externally and treating stuff and record stuff back in and just mess around really. And then all together, you get this. But yeah, thanks for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, any questions or any further little bits, just drop me a line anytime, and I'll get back to you, answer everything you need. But yeah, this is Glisk, the production walkthrough, and this is one track that I'm playing live at the moment. It's really good fun to play live. It's just a nice long melody that I can bring in and out, mess about and do drops with and things. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and speak to you soon.